Hello YouTube world, my name is Nicholas Montez, and you're watching my YouTube channel, The Teenage Movie Critic, and welcome back to another YouTube channel, everybody. And in today's video, we're going to be doing another Disney World ranking, and today we are re-ranking the Disney World hotels. This is an interesting one because a lot of them I have stayed at, but also there's a lot of them I have went to breakfast or lunch or dinner, mostly breakfast and dinner. And then there's also some I have not been to before, and maybe in the comments you can recommend to me of what hotels I could actually stay at, because, and I'm actually redoing this, I'm actually going to do this again because I'm actually currently, in the last 3 years, I've stayed at 3 hotels, which are Port Orleans, Caribbean Beach Resort, and All-Star Music. So, which I recently just stayed at. So, here is my updated list for the Disney World hotels. Alright, so let's get started with this list, shall we? So first up we have Animal Kingdom Lodge. So with the categories we have enjoy your stay. Basically, this is the best of the best. Decent stay. Oh wait, did I switch something? I'm sorry. Yeah, very good. Decent stay. Slept wrong. Where's the manager? And then the other bottom categories are basically went to breakfast, lunch, or dinner at. I'm just gonna say this. And then haven't stayed at yet. So, first one up, we have Animal Kingdom Lodge, and I didn't stay at this hotel, but I have been to this, I have been to the restaurant Boma for breakfast many times, went there for dinner once, did not like it, and the last 2 times I've been out to Disney, which were this year, which was yesterday, in Animal Kingdom Lodge for breakfast at Boma, and also last year for Boma breakfast. And my family, when we first had it, it was amazing. But the last few times, it hasn't been quite that good. But it can't exactly go, and it can't escape that tier until I stay at the resort. So for now, I'm gonna put this in the breakfast dinner tier. We'll discuss other ones. Old Key West, Saratoga Springs, have not been to yet, so we have to put them in here. Beach Club Resort. So this one I can actually agree with. I actually remember I went there. I didn't stay there, but I also went here for dinner one time. And for me, this one was a very cool experience. Number one, I think the theming in this restaurant. I went to I don't remember what the restaurant was called, but I remember going there for dinner and going there for breakfast. I remember the first time I went there for dinner, it was for my birthday when I was turning 13. And this was like a restaurant that was in a hotel near Epcot. So like I believe you could take the Skyliner there, or you could literally just walk there. As you're coming from Epcot, you can literally just walk there. So it's like, it's kind of cool. But overall, like the dinner there, like the theming inside the restaurant was so cool. You have Mickey and Minnie Mouse, just all these pictures. And then of course, like the dinner was pretty good. But like the best thing about it was the dessert you get. If it's your birthday, you can request this thing called the kitchen sink. And it was fan-freaking-tastic. It had everything. It almost was a heart attack if someone ate that. It was so good. And then I remember I went there for my sister's birthday. It was good. It was decent. Without the kitchen sink, it's not anything near close to being as good than a normal dinner. But it was my sister's birthday, so it was still good. The breakfast, however, was also very good, as not only did I get to enjoy really good food, but I also got to enjoy um spending time with the Disney characters. I remember I got a picture with Donald Duck and Minnie and Goofy, and I'm like, yeah, that was a dream come true. So, Beach Club can't put in anything of the other tiers because it's only in breakfast and dinner tier, and for both times, I think it's actually been better than Boma. So, yeah, you're going in that tier above Animal Kingdom Lodge. Yacht Club haven't stayed at. Boardwalk Inn haven't stayed at. Riviera haven't stayed at. Contemporary Resort. This one I actually did dinner at last trip last year. This was actually pretty cool. The hotel itself, from what I was able to see, I noticed I haven't talked much about like how do I like view the hotels and stuff. I kind of like the way some of these hotels. Animal Kingdom Lodge was really good looking. So is Beach Club Resort, and Contemporary is another great addition of that. And something I would kind of like to stay at though. It looks really fancy with the pictures of Walt and stuff. So it looks really cool. The dinner itself was decent. I liked it. I thought it was good. It's tough to know where to rank it between Animal Kingdom Lodge, and it's definitely not better than Beach Club, but for now, I would say it definitely has a better vibe, and maybe just because I really liked last Disney trip. I'm gonna put it at the bottom just because I don't really remember the dinner all that much, but I remember the resort and I remember it looking cool, but it was impressive. That's all I have to say. Grand Floridian, once again, another hotel, another a resort that I stayed at for dinner. And I did breakfast on Thursday before I went to Magic Kingdom. This one was actually pretty good, decent. I think much like Contemporary, it has a unique vibe, and especially this time around since it's around Easter time in the lobby. What's actually funny is I think it was the night when we went to Contemporary. We also wanted to go to Grand Floridian to go there in the night just to see what it's all about, and it seemed really cool. And now we got to go see it, and we also got to see some really cool Disney eggs there, and that was really something great and spectacular. So, Grand Floridian, I'm gonna put you at the bottom just because the breakfast was all right. I mean, it was good, and surprisingly, the portions weren't exactly big, but I'm not complaining about that. I thought it was just the right amount of eating. But I was really great with the eggs, Disney eggs. Then we have Polynesian Resort, another dinner place that honestly, it's kind of underrated. I won't lie to you, because I remember in the first few times I've been to it, I'm like, oh, I kind of don't really like it as much just because it has food I don't really like. But then I'm like, oh wait, yeah, I'm kind of realizing the goodness that this dinner kind of brings you. Plus, you get to hear Happily Ever After and get to see the out of Magic Kingdom's castle. So it's actually kind of a cool experience. And by the same time, I have heard like bad things about the breakfast in that it's just like 5 things, and the only thing that people go there for is the meet and greet for Lilo and Stitch. That's a fair point. I mean, who wouldn't want to meet Lilo and Stitch? But yeah. And then we have Wilderness Lodge. Have not stayed at this. Alright, now we start getting into the resorts that we have stayed at. With Caribbean Beach Resort. This was the last hotel I stayed at last year. And I'm actually not going to lie. I really liked this hotel. First off, I really enjoyed the rooms. Of course, we're not just talking about the way the resort is designed. We're also talking about how fast travel is and how fast is walking. And I think there's a lot of unique aspects to it. I think, like, when it comes to the pool, it has a unique design to it. Especially last year when I was watching the Pirates of the Caribbean films and I started seeing, like, walls with cannons sticking out of them. I'm like, oh yeah, this is really cool, especially coming out of being a Pirates fan. So that is really cool. I think the food choices, I'm not gonna lie, I started getting a little tired of them. I literally started getting tired of eating pizza and fries and burgers. Like, but by the end of the trip, I was tired of it. But we also did get to stay at go to a restaurant at this place, but also it was like Sebastian themed, which I think was a perfect thing for me to remember this resort is. And just and also like there's like this lobby where you can get beer and stuff, and just overall it's a really nice hotel. It has good theming, but it also, like, literally my room is right next to where you go for the buses. It's just overall a solid stay. So I'm gonna put you in very good, and also it just brought a really good Disney trip. So yeah, it's going in very good. Then we have Coronado Springs. So I'm not gonna lie, I don't really remember this resort as much. The only things I remember was really from the trip, and that is the pool they had there was really fun. I remember going down a slide, and there was a jaguar I would pass by, and the slide was very fun in the pool. And I also remember going to Disney Springs with my sister to go watch live action Dumbo, and my mom and dad had their little day there at the hotel. So honestly, I'm going to have to put Coronado Springs in the decent stay. Mainly because I don't really remember it all that much. I don't know if we'll ever go back to it again, but that is my thoughts on it. Then we have Port Orleans Resort. This was the one I stayed at in 2023, and I liked it. I thought it was good. I really like the Princess. I mean, obviously, this is pretty much a Princess and the Frog hotel. It's pretty much, all themed that with, like, the music. You get beignets and all that stuff. I remember. I do remember the pool. I thought it was very cool. I thought, once again, it delivered a fun trip for me, my family. And, it delivered more magic. I wish I had more to say about it, but, I mean, it was 2 years ago, so, I mean, I can't really remember much of it, a lot. I remember having a good time at that hotel, but, honestly, I kind of wish I was at somewhere else, but I'll put it at the bottom of very good. But a part of me wants to put in decent stay, but I did remember having a good time making memories with my family. Then we are getting into the All-Star resorts, starting with All-Star Movies. All-Star Movies is, I have a lot of fond memories with this one. I just love, like, I remember having a lot of fond memories coming here in, like, 2018 and 2019. This was just, like, peak for me as a Disney fan, and getting to walk through Andy's door to see Buzz, a giant statue of Buzz and Woody and Rex and Bo Peep, and seeing the little green army men on, like, the buildings, like, all that was really cool. Even passing through 101 Dalmatians, hearing Disney music during the pool at, like, 2 p.m. It was just such a classic way to do it. And then passing through the lobby, and you're seeing all these, like, classic movies. Even during 2019, which was when Disney was at its peak, with, like, the best of Disney films and Disney Plus, where you had, like, posters for Aladdin and the live-action Lion King, and posters for all the classic Disney movies, and even having a DVD player playing The Lion King. Awesome. I might cheat with this one, and I think I'm actually going to have to put this one in Enjoy Your Stay. This is one of my personal favorites. I have a lot of fond memories with, and this is technically the one I stayed at. I think it was either this or Pop Century where I was obsessed with the food court. Yeah, I think it was the Pop Century when I was obsessed with the food court, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But yeah, All-Star Movies, I have a lot of fun memories with, and yeah, it's just great. All-Star Music, which is the most recent one that I've been to, and this might be recency biased, but I think this is actually one of my personal favorites that I've stayed at. And for me, there's a lot. I think with this past Disney trip, there's been a lot of great stuff. First off, the theming for this resort is just fantastic. I mean, in the way that they were able to do this, where I see it in the Calypso area, where you have the Three Caballeros pool. I didn't go to the pool for some reason because I was extremely tired and we didn't really have enough time to do it. So, but I saw the pool and it looked really cool. But the other thing I really liked about it is with every area, which I actually got to travel around the entire resort, and the whole theming of this resort is just fantastic. Whether it's the jazz area, the Broadway area, the rock and roll area, the country area, all the themes and theming of this, it made me feel like I'm walking down New York City and seeing Broadway shows for Lion King and Aladdin. If I want to see jazz, I want to go to a jazz club or whatever. If I want to go to rock and roll, I get in a Cadillac. I know it's not a Cadillac, but it's still something. There was something so unique about every aspect of this, but the other thing I really loved about it was the activities they were able to do. And especially during this time, I got a chance to do the 6:30, 7:30 marshmallow roasting, where you get to gather around a fire with people and put a marshmallow on a stick and roast it. And it was honestly one of the best things, while at the same time having Phil Collins on My Way from Brother Bear playing in the background. It was just one of the most surreal moments where I'm like, this is the true Disney experience. This is what you're supposed to do on vacation. And what's so crazy is I came back from a magical day at the Animal Kingdom, one of my favorite days in all of my Disney history. And now I get to come home. I get to come back to the resort, and I get to eat roasted marshmallows on a fire. Just so amazing. And like, yeah, this was a top. I think for me right now, it's probably my favorite. I mean, obviously there's another hotel that'll be beating it soon, but we'll get to that in a little bit. But right now, it's one of my favorite All-Star resorts. I love All-Star music. Then we have All-Star Sports. Not gonna lie, I liked this hotel. I definitely remember it with like the Huey, Dewey, and Louie statues, and I think Herbie as well. But honestly, wasn't crazy about it. The only thing I find it kind of funny every time we go there is all the stuff with the sports teams coming there. I think it kind of makes it a little fun, as it almost feels like it's an airport, or, you know, and especially when it comes to the food courts stuff too. It's like you're seeing all these people walk through. It's kind of like you're on a field trip and you're seeing all those people. Like, it's kind of fun. But besides that, like, I don't really have any fond memories with this one. And I think I've only been there like once or twice, so I'm going to have to put sports in decent. Alright, now we have Art of Animation. This, to me, is one I've only been to twice. And really the first time, which I don't remember the second time, which was back... the second time I went there... Hold on. Let me do something real quick. So, with Art of Animation, the second time, I remember the first time I went there was August of 2018. The second time was in March of 2020, which was when Disney was shutting down that last weekend, when they announced school's out for 2 weeks, and then it happened to be a full year. And I don't really remember much of what I did that weekend, but I remember it was actually a solid trip. But the first time I went there, I was geeking out. I mean, and honestly, I really wish I can actually go back there, because this is such an underrated hotel. I mean, honestly, this probably has the best theming of any Disney hotel I've ever been at, with Lion King and Finding Nemo and Little Mermaid and Cars. I mean, other people will get excited about Cars, but Little Mermaid, Finding Nemo, Lion King? Oh, hell yeah! And granted, we stayed at the Little Mermaid, in the Little Mermaid room, and even though I couldn't stay in Lion King, it was still magical. You know, seeing an Ariel like themed, you know, like thing of a shower curtain, and seeing an Ariel themed room with fishes on the wall, having a Finding Nemo pool, seeing, you know, all these Lion King statues, like the statue of Mufasa, Simba, Timon and Pumbaa, the hyenas. I even have a funny memory where I saw someone in the elephant graveyard thing, and I was thinking, wait, is that a real animal? Oh no, it's just a person. And then, I even remember when I last stayed there before I left. I remembered I stayed. What was I gonna say? Damn. I ate vanilla pancakes, one of the best things, and I even remember getting full from that. This resort just delivers so much fond memories of just greatness, to where honestly, you can have just as great moments with your family, looking at great stuff, but at the same time, just looking at what's around you, and it's like, oh, just so fantastic. Easily, and I'm enjoying my stay here every time I go. And honestly, if I plan to have a family and go to Disney with them, this probably be the hotel I stay at most of the time. If it's not too expensive and if I have the money for it. Then we have Pop Century. Pop Century is an interesting one because I don't really remember it. The only thing I remember about it was the Baloo and Mowgli statue, and I liked the food court. I remember being obsessed with the food court where I'm like, they had like this cookie ice cream sandwich. And I'm like, and for some reason, I remember I used to love that shit, getting all that stuff from there. But then and looking at all the food they have, I'm like, wait, they literally have all my favorite foods I like combined, and it's in Disney, and it's like, there's so much choices. But then my dad had different opinions on it, where he was like, I don't really like this. The food court, all the food is like frozen food. Which, now that I'm older, I'm kind of starting to realize that. But then also, like, the rooms, even for, like, All-Star Music and Art of Animation, the rooms are just not comfortable. In which I can kind of agree with that, because, you know, sometimes the beds and pillows, you kind of sink. But I think overall, like, it was a solid stay, but once again, I don't really remember. I would say slept wrong, but honestly, like, because usually when I sleep wrong, I tend to not know what happened. So I think for now, until I go there again, I'm going to have to put Pop Century and slept wrong. Because I remember the first time I went there was really good, but I have not been there in a long time. So I have no idea what happened here. So that's my opinion. And then we have Fort Wilderness Lodge. Yeah, I've never been there, though. I actually did go there to see my aunt and uncle, I believe. It was like in the woods, and it was kind of cool. But I don't know if I can really count it, because it's not really a hotel or anything. It's just you park your RV somewhere. I'll put this in haven't stayed at yet, yeah. Because I didn't eat there at dinner for anything, so yeah. And then finally we have Hilton Orlando Buena Vista Palace. This is basically in place for all the off like brand hotels. Basically, they say they're on property, but they're not actually Disney hotels. Like, they're on Disney property, but they're not Disney hotels. I think that these are probably the weakest of them, just the weakest of all the hotels I've stayed at. Mainly because it's not really a Disney-themed hotel. You're just staying there because all the other hotels are expensive. And makes me kind of sad because, honestly, this is not really any better. And sure, you get free breakfast, you get a jacuzzi you get to be in, you get a nice pool. But honestly, and the only Disney themed thing they have here is like a poster for like Hollywood Studios or Animal Kingdom in Pandora. Other than that, Nothing really exciting here. Sometimes the breakfast is good, and the beds, like, it's fine that they have a pull-out bed. But honestly, I'm not a huge fan of these hotels. I don't really get excited to go to them. I'm just glad that we get to go to the park. Though at the same time, it is kind of nice to drive. Though at the same time, like, it does kind of bring a nice experience going to Disney, like going to the parks when you are driving there instead of riding a bus because, I don't know, I kind of just like, I kind of prefer to go on. I like both the car rides, but also the bus. It's a mixed feeling. I don't know how to describe it, but I'm gonna go ahead and say slept wrong, but it's gonna go at the bottom. And yeah, so that's kind of my ranking of the Disney hotels. So yeah, kind of a weird one. I really want to go to most of these. So the ones that I've been to dinner, I really would like to go to all of these, so stay at one of these hotels. I really want to stay at Animal Kingdom Lodge, Grand Floridian. Actually, I want to stay at Contemporary, Animal Kingdom Lodge, Beach Club, and Polynesian. I don't know much about Grand Floridian. It seems pretty, but too fancy for me. But pretty much all the ones I've been at dinner with, yeah, I would really like to stay at those. Where's the manager? Nothing's really there, just because I don't really think any Disney hotel has disappointed me. But unless I stay at one of these 5 hotels, and if I stay at one of these 8 hotels, wait, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Unless I want to stay at one of these 13 hotels, and maybe something will go there. But for now, that is my list, and that is all for now. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. If you could like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.